Thank you very much. You're wonderful, and there's some very heartfelt thank yous here tonight for everyone at Cathedral of Hope MCC, especially Mike Piazza and Bill Yore, David McCullough and Danny Ray, and thank you, Tom Smith, for doing a wonderful job with our engineering, our sound tonight. Artists behind the inevitable record table. This has been a wonderful, wonderful evening for me, and thank you for it. I promised my friend Becky that I would remind the women in the audience not to skip this year with your mammogram. We have more than one epidemic that we're facing. We've got to get really strong and fight it the best way that we can. The first time that I realized that what I do for a living is dangerous it's when I hosted the New York City Pride Rally, which was outdoors on a stage in Greenwich Village. A gay man took exception to something that a political speaker was saying, and he threw a very large and very overripe tomato, which missed the politician and hit a stanchion between the two of us and splattered mostly all over me. And there are many thoughts that go through your mind at a moment like that on the accidental and random nature of violence. Of course, what I thought really, I suppose, was, why don't they just give it to the lesbians to throw so that it hits what it's supposed to? But I have to admit that it was some time before I did outdoor events again. And still, I was very flattered to be asked to MC and perform at the first statewide march for lesbian and gay rights in the history of the state of South Carolina. And I remember talking to the woman on the phone who was engaging me for that gig. And at the end of the conversation, she said to me, "Well, Ms. Lavner, I would like to thank you for your dedication and your courage." I said, "Why don't you run that courage part past me again and we'll talk about it." She said, "Well, you know, we do get heavy counter demonstrations when we do anything that's progressive or liberal." I said, "Oh, you mean religious right, fundamentalist, shame, shame, shame." "Well, I'm used to that kind." She's, "Oh, no, that's nothing." I said, "Well, perhaps you might share with me." She said, "Well, we always expect a sizable turnout by the Ku Klux Klan." I can tell you that it's a very impressive feeling to spend 4 hours on an outdoor stage, singing, laughing, dancing, playing the piano, introducing people, popping around and smiling, all the while watching the buildings across the street for sniper fire. But they drew 2,000 people, and respectful coverage for 2 days in the mainstream paper, and interviews on the 6 and 10 o'clock news where we got to talk about our issues. And so it was with a great deal of confidence that I accepted the invitation of Salt Lake City to come and perform at their event. And things went very well until we were paid an unexpected visit by the American Nazi Party. Skinheads in uniform. And I can tell you that for me especially, to see the swastika flag in life and full color instead of on an old newsreel was absolutely chilling. But it was kind of a dramatic moment. My sound man, who was on stage with me, was giving me this cut signal, cut and get off the stage. He had apparently not worked with many Jewish women from New York before. And so we stayed. The audience stood, formed a human wall between the stage and the Nazis. They linked arms, put their hands up in peace symbols, and police came, and there were some very dejected Nazis who had not disrupted this wonderful event, which also drew, I think, between 2,000 and 3,000 people. It's important to remember that there are always places away from the big cosmopolitan cities where there are grassroots communities doing important and dangerous work, and they must always know that they have family out there. It was in Salt Lake City that